Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another Walking Dead video with Comic-Con in full swing. We are getting the Walking Dead content. And today I did my reactions to the Dead City and Daryl Dixon Season 2 trailers that we finally got after so long of waiting. And today also I want to follow up with the breakdowns of those trailers and just my thoughts and opinions about what's coming, what we could possibly see this next season. And from the trailer for Daryl Dixon Season 2 especially, I mean, they both had their merits as far as excitement, but Daryl Dixon is looking pretty damn good for what they got coming for possible more variants or just the more widespread of variants. But I wanted to jump into some stills that I took from the trailer, break them down, talk about the series, and just everything that's coming down the pike for these shows. And let's just get into it. So Daryl Dixon's trailer opens up. We just got Daryl walking down the road with a guitar of all things on his back, and I assume he's probably going to use this to bash someone's head in, or unless it's a gift for someone, or probably for Laurence. But moving on to the next one, Daryl is walking up on this club. Now this club I assume is the same one from the first season that I believe was run by, and I think his name's Quinn. It's been a minute. But this was the club that was underground that just where everybody would come to blow off steam. It was kind of just remnants of what the old world was. But this woman, she says, "I thought you were dead," and he says, "Not yet." So moving on to the next one, we got Daryl Dixon attacking some walkers. Now we saw this, I believe, in the preview pictures that we got from Entertainment Weekly. I did a video on that. I'll leave a link to that above. But this is where I believe Daryl is going to be in that car that he's next to, and it's surrounded by walkers. How he gets out, maybe he gets out by himself or someone comes along to help him. But he runs into a situation here where it looks like he gets surrounded. Then we got him and Isabel talking about maybe he should go back home or he just doesn't feel like he belongs. And Isabel kind of just gives him this French phrase for feeling lost or just misplaced or what have you. And so we're really going to, I think, see Daryl question a lot of things, like his decision to stay in France. And they do mention in the trailer, though, where Daryl and Isabel talk to Laurence about possibly going back to America, and hopefully that's the end game. But we do know there has been an announcement of Season 3, so we're probably going to be waiting a minute because Norman Reedus himself has said he wants to do this for a few more years, and he says up to 6 or 7. So I guess we'll wait and see how long this actually drags out, and if we're ever going to get an end-game situation where we have everyone come back together. But moving on to the next picture, we got our intro of Carol on the look for Daryl and everything that she's going through to find him. Then we get this close-up shot of her. Then we see that she has him narrowed down to France. They have the first 10 minutes of the first episode where you can see where she is on the look for him. She goes to that trading post, and it goes into more detail or just gives you more footage of that particular scene where she actually gets those guys to tell her where he is, how he ended up there, and all that. And so she's going to be finding a way to France. And this is where we're going to get the introduction. I believe his name is Ash. And from what I remember from when he was first introduced several months ago, maybe even close to a year ago when the first season ended, but he is going to be just this lone survivor that lives off by himself, who is conveniently a pilot and has a plane on hand. And it seems it's only a little twin engine plane, so how they make it over to France just in that little thing, they have to have just quite the reserves of fuel. Or, you know, I'm not a pilot and I don't know anything about flying, but it seems like a little plane like that would have kind of a difficult time making it across the ocean to France. But I could be very wrong. There just could be certain variables in place that maybe just don't make sense to me, because here we get this shot of the plane. So they are actually in the process of taking off, and naturally they get surrounded by walkers, and Carol actually has a scene where she throws one into one of the propellers, so we'll see if that does any damage and how far they make it and whatnot. Going to the next one, we get a sky shot of them making their way to France. And then the next one, we do get kind of a surprise, but kind of not. And it's funny, this seems like Condron, and I just now noticing this, where there is possibly Ash's plane there in the background. And Condron we weren't sure about, where we saw him get picked up at the end of last season where he let Daryl and them go, and Janae found out about it, and it looks like he has been since tortured and beaten and just subjected to horrible treatments for his betrayal to Janae. So we'll see how that goes, because here he is shooting at some cars coming up on him, and I imagine maybe he got away and they're on the hunt for him or what have you, but we'll see. Then we get this scene where Daryl has been fighting, and then he gets cornered in a stairwell, and this is where he gets picked up by Janae, and she has him prisoner, telling him that he needs to stop thinking about the future because he doesn't have one. And I'm really ready to see something happen to this woman, because she's just so, I don't know, she just has this look like she is so awesome and she can make no mistakes. But I think we're going to get some reveal of her backstory this season, judging from another still that I'm going to show you guys. And we got Daryl here just beaten up, chained up. But moving on to the next one, here's where we got the shot of Ash's plane landed in France, beaten up, probably on its last leg, and it looks like it probably made a crash landing or an emergency landing on this part of this mountain. And as they get out, there's walkers in the ground that grab Carol's leg and pull her to the ground, and Ash jumps in to save her. And I don't know, I have a feeling that he's not going to make it very far. But here's where it really gets interesting. We have our black-eyed walkers, our fast-running walkers, and we get this scene with just these handful. And then this is one of the scenes, or one of the stills I was talking about, where I'm pretty sure this is Janae, and this looks like it's a flashback of something like seeing someone she loves being killed in the fall of France. And I'm pretty sure that's where this situation is, because we still got what looks like lights, and she just looks like a different person in this picture. She doesn't look like she's just morally withdrawn like she is in present day. Then we got another shot of that woman from, I believe, the club, and they have the Mona Lisa. And this club, from what I remember, I think they make an effort to preserve the art and relics and whatnot from Paris and surrounding areas of France, where they try to keep these from being destroyed. And this is where I was talking about the black-eyed walkers. It looks like we got actual herd of running walkers. So this should be very, very interesting. I'm very excited to see what they do, if this is something that's happening out in the wild now, or are these experiments that have been set loose, or is this part of the mutation that they've altered that is out there in the world now, and we're going to see a lot more of this as the season goes on, because we got one of those walkers, or I guess runners, trying to get through this fence or through this cage door at one of these people, and this one guy just happens to have the keys to get Daryl out of his situation. This is Daryl fighting his way out of the situation, so I imagine these people that Daryl is fighting are probably dealing with the runners themselves. Then we get a shot of Carol, and this is where I'm kind of thinking that Ash doesn't make it because he's not with her. So I'm thinking that he probably gets to France and then gets himself killed, saving Carol after they get off the plane. So I just don't have high hopes that he makes it very far, which kind of sucks, because he seems like he would be an interesting character, and that's kind of what they do. They bring these characters in that seem like they would have cool backgrounds or just be something fresh, and then it seems like they get killed off quickly. Then we got Daryl exploring this basement or this tunnel system, and we got walkers that glow in the dark, so they're probably radioactive, possibly. So it's hard to tell, but that's kind of my guess. Then we got this part of the ambush scene that we got from the sneak peek earlier this year, where it looks like Janae has made her way out of the overturned car, and she sees Daryl. Daryl's lined up ready to kill her, but of course something blows up in the background that throws him off, and she probably gets away or makes a lunge at him or something. Then we get this cool kind of skyline shot of Paris, just seeing it in ruins. Then we get a shot of Falou here with Condron. Now, Falou being in this scene is interesting, because from the first 10 minutes release that we got, they talk about how Falou and a couple of others were captured in this area. So this could be the moment of that capture, because I think this is that rooftop community, and this is, I believe, what they said got hit or got attacked. So this is probably shortly before he gets captured, maybe. Then we get a shots of Laurence, and I have my reservations about Laurent. I don't know how I feel about this character. He just kind of comes off as really just annoying, and I don't know what purpose he serves in sense of pushing the story forward. But I'm not sure how I feel about him, and I hope that they do something to give his character more purpose, because right now I think we could do without, but that's just my opinion. Then this is an interesting shot. I did a video of this previously where we get this weird flashback of the moment that Sophia walks out of that barn way back from Walking Dead Season 2, where I don't know if something triggers this to where Carol has this flashback, or she's just simply dreaming, or what's going on here. Maybe this is some kind of this is something she lives with day in and day out, where she's always thinking about this moment and how it could have been different or what have you. But they decided to go back to this particular moment, but I'm not sure why. But I'm very interested to find out why they decided to go back this far in the Walking Dead history, or why this moment's still on Carol's mind. But I mean, why wouldn't it? Because it was her child. But it's interesting to say the least that they decided to pick this scene out of everything and what it means at this moment, because we get this, and this is in that same moment. We just get the close-up of Carol and just this look of disbelief on her face. So maybe this is just another situation where she comes upon a child walker stumbling out of a building, and it just kind of throws her back to that moment. That would be my best guess. Then we get the closing moment of the trailer where we see Daryl and then we see Carol in the background, and I'm just wondering how quickly they will find each other. Is this episode 1 or episode 3? But I'm just wondering how quickly they find each other. What are the circumstances of them finding each other in this moment? Does she walk up to this person knowing it's Daryl, or walking up to him and hoping to get information? But my guess is she's walking up to him knowing this is Daryl, and they had their moment and everything. So I'm excited to see what plays out here, and also to get some more emphasis or more detail on the rumor that I've been hearing that they're going to be on opposing sides of some conflict, and how that plays out into going into Season 3, because Season 3 has been announced. It's going to be filming in Spain, and just what are they going to do with this? How far are they going to take this series and these characters without bringing them back home? But anyways, guys, that was my breakdown of the trailer, my thoughts about it, and just the show in general. I'm excited to see this, excited to see how it turns out, and how we end up in Spain, of all places. I mean, it was weird that we ended up in France, but they made a somewhat believable circumstance in how he got there. But for him to wind up in Spain, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, of course, subscribe to the channel, help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.